Hi there, very good morning. Welcome to ET Now. You're watching Market Cafe with me, Kanishka Sarkar and Ankita Saxena. Over the next 1 hour, we'll tell you all about the global cues and domestic cues that you need to watch out for, and also tell you about the stocks that you need to keep on your radar today. But let's get started with an eye on the globe first and see how the Wall Street fared overnight. The US markets logged a winning session overnight, sending all major indices to fresh records as optimism over the Federal Reserve's rate cut took hold. First up, the Dow Jones Industrial Average that closed at that 46,140 level, up more than 120 points or about 0.3%. On the other hand, the S&P 500 that gained about 30 points or 0.5% to that 6,630 level, whereas the tech-heavy Nasdaq composite that also jumped more than 200 points or nearly 1% to that 22,471 level. The standout, of course, was the Russell 2000, which surged 2.5%, marking its first record close since 2021. So that's how the indices performed. In fact, the rally followed Wednesday's volatility after the Fed's first rate cut this year. Now, with this, that is yesterday's gains, the Dow and S&P both are on track to end the week 0.7% higher, whereas the Nasdaq, it's up 1.5% for the week, and the Russell is up nearly 3% for the week. Looking ahead, no major earnings or economic reports coming today, but that leaves the Fed commentary and global market cues in focus. So that's how the US markets fared overnight. But Ankita, how are things looking on the crude front?
All right, as far as crude prices are concerned, we do see an ease off coming in on the crude prices. In fact, we are trimming the weekly gains coming in on the back of two reasons. One is that there have been calls for lower prices. Trump has called for lower prices and easing the disruption. That is easing the disruption fears, but also we do see concerns about the U.S. economy than the start of looser monetary policy after the U.S. Federal Reserve cut interest rates for the first time this year. Now, the Brent crude futures fell 63 cents or 0.9% to settle in at $67.32 a barrel, and the WTI futures fell 66 cents or 1% to settle in at $63.39 a barrel. Now, remember, the Fed cut its policy rate by 0.25 percentage point on Wednesday, and that indicated it will, steadily lower borrowing costs over the rest of the year, responding to the signs of the weakness in the jobs market. Now, usually lower borrowing costs typically boost demand for oil and pushes the prices higher, but we do see the moderation coming in oil prices on the back of fears of a weaker economy, lesser demand, and also the call for lower prices. And on the back of that, we did see oil give up its weekly gains. As far as gold is concerned, gold has extended its retreat from the previous session, so a bit of a moderation coming in the gold prices as well. And we do see oil that's settled in lower, and gold also retreating from its extended gains. So that's where crude and gold in the commodity market is at.
All right.